Now in your routers, you have some special type of interfaces that you call it as loopback interface. Now loopback addresses are different. Loopback interfaces are different. Loopback addresses are for testing purpose only. Checking the connectivity, checking your NIC card, whether your NIC card is working properly or not. Similar way for testing, we have your loopback interfaces also. Because see, every time if I want to test my routing and all, let's say this is one router, this is another router connected to each other. Okay, now I want to perform routing, right? If I want to perform routing here, what I can do? I need to use some networks here. Need to connect networks. Similarly, this side also, let's say I need to connect the networks. Correct. Now, if I want to connect networks, so usually if you see, let's say this is the router. How many Ethernet ports it is having? 2 ports. Correct. Only 2 ports. Now, out of them, 1 port will be used here. So means how many cables I can connect more? Only 1 cable. That means I cannot have, for example, according to this router, we cannot have more than 1 network. What if I want to test connectivity with multiple networks? In that case, what? So that means I need to use some different router then to testing the connectivity. And everywhere I'll have to go and connect the PCs, assign the IPs to the PCs, and then perform the routing and then test the configuration, whether my configuration is working properly or not. Right? But instead of connecting everywhere the PCs and all, we can simply create these loopback interfaces. Now, loopback, these are only logical interfaces. These are not physically available on your router. Okay, you will not see a port where you can connect a cable. These are completely logical. Now, since these are logical, there are some benefits also. Like you have their physical port in the router. In the physical port, you will have 8 pins. Now there is a chance one of your pin might break. There is a chance due to some electrical or mechanical failure that port might damage. Right? There's a chance that you connect the connector, but when you plug it out, only the cable is coming out, the connector is remaining inside only. Okay, means there is some possibilities that somehow that port might go down or get damaged. Why? Because that is a physical entity. But since these are logical, there will be no pins, no cable, no connector, no port, nothing. So there is no chance of these ports for going down. Now, like your physical ports, each and every port is in a different network, different broadcast domain. Same way, your logical ports will also be acting. Means your loopback interfaces, they will also be considered as a separate broadcast domain only. Okay. So similar to your physical interfaces, you can just assign the IP addresses to these interfaces. Okay. And since they are logical interfaces, you do not need to give the no shutdown command. They will be by default up. Okay. And they will be considered as separate broadcast domain. Your loopback interfaces will never go down until or unless you manually go there and give the shutdown command. Until then, they will remain up only. Okay. So your loopback interfaces, they allow you to assign IP address to a router which is not tied to a physical interface. Because they do not have any physical attributes which can fail, your loopback interface never goes down. And loopbacks are treated as separate broadcast domain. Okay. So how do you create loopback interfaces on a router? Let's just go and see practically. And you'll see no differences there.
So how many interfaces you can?
Loopback interface, multiple. Okay, I'll show you. There's a big number. I think around 4 billion. There's a big number. I'll show you. Let's say this is a router. So if I see this router physically, so I can see that on this router right now only there is 3 ports. 1, 2, and 3. Correct? Say no. Okay. Now let's say I want to assign an IP address to the interfaces. So first of all, I want to check what all the interfaces are available. If I want to check what all the interfaces are available, I can give a command that is going to provide me what all the IP addresses are assigned. So how I can check the IP addresses assigned to my router? What is the command? Show IP interface brief. If I give show IP interface brief, is this command going to give me an error or it will execute? Since I'm in a global configuration mode and show command, all the commands that start with the show, they belong to your privilege mode. Okay. So privilege mode commands, if you want to use in the global configuration mode, you have to append do. Okay. And how you can see, you can move your cursor in the beginning and ending of command. If you press Control A, it will come in the starting. If you press Control E, it will go to the end. Control A for the beginning, Control E for the end. Okay. So I can see, let's say I have interfaces Z0 by 0, Z0 by 1, and Z0 by 2. So if I had to assign IP address to my Z0 by 0 interface, what command I would do? I would give interface Z0 by 0. Correct. Now, instead of Z0 by 0, I want to create what? Loopback. Simple. Loopback. Now, how many loopback interfaces you can create? From 0 till this is the big number. These many loopback interfaces on one router you can create. Okay. Now let's say I'm creating first, so I'll say 0. Okay. You see by default automatic. Did I give no shutdown command? And what it is saying? Change state to up. Okay. Earlier, did you see any loopback interfaces here? No. But if I give the same command again, do show IP interface B. Do you see? The loopback interface is there and it is by default in the up condition. Okay. Now all we need to do is assign IP address. How do you assign IP address? Same commands. Let's say 1.1.1.1, 255.255. Now no need to give no shutdown because why? Already up. Okay. So if I check again, to show IP interface brief. Okay. No need to type every time big command. Check. IP address has been assigned. Is that clear? Clear?
Yes. And the looper interface will be responsible for the testing purpose.
Yes, either testing, and there are some more significance, like let's say when we'll discuss about your OSPF, there will have the router ID, it will have some significance. Okay, so it will be used in other purposes also, but the basic purpose is just the testing. And in the other purpose also we are just using because it will never go down by default. Okay. Okay. This is clear how to create loopback. If you want to create one more, interface L1. Okay, short. No need to type every time like interface loopback 1. No. Interface L1, L2, L3 like that. Okay. See. You can say IP address, let's say 2.2.2.2, 255.255.255.0. And then you can say no shutdown. Check. Yeah, not needed, but even if you give, no problem. You know, that is a habit, you know. Working on the physical interfaces becomes a habit. But usually you do not require. Okay, so like this, you can create many loopback interfaces. And it is not required to go in the sequence also. Okay, not at all required that first interface you create 0 only, then you create 1 only. Any number you can create. That is your choice. Okay. All right. And if you want to remove, then no interface L1, no interface L2. L2 is not there, L0 is there. Okay, do show IP. So IP and everything will be removed. Okay, because any command you want to undo, just append no and it's done. Okay, this is clear about loopbacks.